Hi, this is Lucy and welcome to another Fallout 76 Building 101 episode. If you saw my last episode, The Boat, you'll know that I wasn't sure what I was going to build next, and I decided that I was going to build a container house. This was a replica of a house that I built last year, but I had wanted the glass pieces then. They didn't exist in the game, so I thought I'd build that with some glass panels. But when I'd finished building it, it just looked like a modern house. It had kind of lost its specialness. It just looked like 100 other modern houses with glass panels, and so I was going to go ahead. I just abandoned it basically. I've got a new character who's currently level 16, and I built a little townhouse on her, and it made me start thinking about architectural styles. And if you've seen the thumbnail for this, you'll know what it is. I decided to build myself a brownstone, or a New York townhouse. I've entitled it a tiny brownstone because as far as brownstones go, it is pretty tiny, but I'm not sure it's technically a tiny house. You can make that decision yourself, I think. So I did do this video yesterday. I did have my mic off. I have had to redo all of it. I'm about to redo all this. So I've decorated this house twice now, and so I'm going to do the tour before I do the build. So let's get to it. I originally built this house up on my spot near New Gad, but kind of figured it would look better in a city environment, so I've come down to Charleston. It is a good location. There's a lot of stuff nearby, and it is actually extremely close to the vendor here. If you've seen, some people have done videos, you can build on top of these buildings here. You can in fact put your camp widget down, well, on top of these buildings, or you can place it here on this little roadway, which is where I've placed it. I have come as far forward as I can. I would like an extra 6 feet, but I can't place my camp widget any further forward. As you can see, I have used the pillars. You can still stack pillars, and you'll see how when I build the house. I've added a few touches like the newsstand, the bench and the lamps. It is a personal abhorrence of mine to have doorways at the top of stairs, but I couldn't figure out another way to do this. And I did try putting sort of bringing out the lower story by one and sort of having a balcony, but it didn't look like a brownstone to me then. I would have liked to have done this with a flat wallpaper, double walled it, but I couldn't find a colour that was suitable. The ochre was the closest, but in a day like this it was just too yellow. So let's go inside. If you do have to have a door at the top of stairs, for goodness sake, make sure it opens inwards. I've been to camps where the door smacks you in the face as you open it on a staircase, and so given the period that these houses were built, I tried to sort of create a Victorian theme. It's a bit shabby. I could have put parquet floors down, but they were just a bit too clean looking, so I kept with the original oak. Victorian houses were always full of knickknacks, so I've put ornaments everywhere that I can. This is the new Vault-Tec grandfather clock, which I really like, except for the blue. Especially given how few blue things there are. I mean, if they'd just done it in wood and maybe kept the face of the clock with the Vault-Tec, that would have... But, well, it is what it is. This is the Thanksgiving table and chairs. I have a piano, some trinkets, watches and plates. I used the conduit railings here, and I'll show you a quick way of doing that when we build. This is the kitchen. There has been some texture come through, but I'm not sure if it might actually improve it, I think. These are Nixie wall lights, and they're from the Atom store. I didn't know I had them, so I don't know what pack they came in, I'm afraid. There's a little bit of storage under the stairs. Kitchen table for breakfast or informal dinners. The world's smallest workshop. It did take a while to get the order of these so that you could actually use them all, because if they're too close together you can't actually use them. There is a back door. In the UK we put our dustbins, garbage cans, outside the back of our houses mostly, so I put the stash boxes and scrap box here. And of course we have a coal cellar. You may notice that I do not have any conduits visible on my house. I've found a new trick which I will show you as we build. I tried to use the colours that are popular in these styles of houses. So this is the grey. This is the ochre, which I have never used in a build before because I absolutely hated it. But for some reason it really works in this room, so there we go. Up to the bedroom. I don't know where I got this wallpaper. I noticed it a few weeks ago. It must have come in one of the multi-packs. There's a little reading nook. I used the clean hospital bed from the latest season pass. I couldn't get a bathroom in here because the floor, you'd have to walk through it, because the floor is basically, because of the staircase, only one wide or one deep. But I did put a little wash set here, and I put this in for a bit of fun because it looks quite Victorian. If we go up to the last story of the house, that door does open inwards, doesn't it? I might have to change that. We have a little seating area, wind chimes. We have our chickens. I think it's more traditional to keep pigeons on your roof in New York, but I'm sure there are people that keep chickens. And we have a few crops. I even put my weather vane up. So you can sit out here and listen to your chickens clucking and look at the beautiful trees up there and just ignore all of that. These half walls are double walled to create the roof line. I really like this camp. It happens every so often. It used to happen a lot, but I just suddenly I see something and think I have to build that, and this was one of those. And I love the building, I love the decorating, especially if I'm trying to create a specific style. I love the challenge of it, but the thing I hate is having to tear it down. So I will be very sad to see this one go, especially as I've already built it twice and I'm about to build it for the third time. So let's get to it. And I'm going to stop and check that this video is recorded correctly and has audio before I actually pull it down this time. Right, when I placed my camp widget, I tried to do it on this yellow line so that I would remember. And here you can see is the spot where it goes from green to red. So we're going to place it there. And then we're going to move it out of the way. And as you can see, I could really have done with an extra few feet here, but can't be helped. Have to just quickly store all these pieces. When I moved it the first time, I did actually try to place it down, but it kept telling me that it couldn't place it because something was already there. And it wouldn't be a very good build video if I just showed you how to put it down without having how to build it. And unfortunately it is slightly more complicated than it looks. But now I've built it twice. It should go off without a hitch. Right, all our pieces are stored. So we're going to start with these stone floors. I was pondering whether I could move it a little bit closer to this building, but I was able, because of the other, to put a sort of walkway around it, so I think I'll stick with what I did. I tried to line it up with the road. I have to make sure you can get it low enough or high enough so that it's not cutting through. It will be higher at the front than the back, which is why I lowered some of it after the fact. Just trying to see if it's centered in the road. It's not too bad. The front porch is 4 squares and the house is 3 squares deep. I think we're going at an angle now, aren't we? I think the problem is the road here curves. Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't look right, does it? Although it looks straight at the front. I think we'll just go with it. And we have 1 tile at the back. Now, to get the pillars on and make sure that the walls fit, what I'm going to do first, I always start with these basic stairs and then swap them out because I tend to find that the ones with the fancy railings don't always clip to things. So I'm going to put our staircase down here. Now this is our front staircase to the door, but we need a staircase as well to the basement, so I'm going to move it to there, out of the way for a moment, and you'll see why. I need to get these pillars on, and I'm going to use the half floor trick. Sometimes it does that. It's a perfectly legitimate place, but you have to wiggle it a bit until it goes red. Come on. Going to store that. We're going to go up here. Oops. And we're going to go up to the next level. If you don't have 100% fall damage on your armour, then please be careful. I can't take responsibility for any injuries sustained during the making of this building. Well, this is my first video of 2020. There we go. See, that's what happens when you fall off. This is my first video of 2021. So I just want to say Happy New Year to everybody. Let's hope 2021 is a good one. The reason this pillar trick works is because you are sandwiching a pillar between two floors. You can do it with a rooftop. Oh dear goodness, I keep falling off today. And no, I wasn't up late partying all night. Right. One more. The other thing I found out yesterday was you can, in fact, stack half pillars on top of full pillars. Which is good, because I didn't think it was possible. Because there would be no other way to do it, because you can't sandwich that between a floor. You can't, however, stick another half pillar on top of a half pillar without a roof piece. Now, there is something else we need to do before we put the walls in, which I'm afraid more danger. We need to create some scaffolding for the upper floor to create the double wall up there. So what I am going to do is Get another staircase out, and this isn't a wasted staircase because you will be able to use it for your actually I need to go out one further. You will be able to use it as your front staircase. No, I don't actually. Being an idiot. No, I do. I need to be able to create a complete border around the top floor. Have you noticed that things only seem to go wrong when you're recording? Come on. It might be the cold. I've been sitting here with a hot water bottle. It's -4 here, which is pretty cold for the part of the UK that I live in. And the other thing we're going to need to do is take this staircase up temporarily and put a floor in there. There we go. Right. Now, you obviously don't need the corner pieces if you feel that you're safe hopping from one piece to the other. We're going to put in our loft hatch as well while we're here. I really wish they'd put the pieces together. Although it's nice to be able to get those half pillars on, they are lost a bit in the build because of the double wall. But I know they're there. Then we need to get out our trusty flamer trap. What I might do, because I sometimes have problems getting these on double walled structures, is I am going to put the roof on. It may well get destroyed. Actually, I'm not. The reason being I won't get the stash box with the flamer trap on in there if I put the roof on there. So ignore me. Right, let's get our flamer trap out. If you have a stored one, you don't need to put the cards in to place it, but if you have a lot of stuff stored, it can take you a while to find it. There it is. I was trying to do 2 for 1, but I didn't do anything. Never mind. Keep an eye on the health bar of your flamer trap. If it starts getting low, Just store it and get it out again and it will repair itself. Saves you a few resources. Oops. I think it's going to be one of those days. Maybe this project's cursed. Oh, it's still here, isn't it? I will skip ahead with this now. You know the drill. We're up to the last wall, and to do a wall like this with a half wall and a triangular piece, put your flamer trap on a standard Vault-Tec stash box and it should do both at the same time. Right, let's double wall this bad boy. Always make sure that you have your walls the correct way around, so that the white is facing out on this one and in on the other side. The flamer trap will work with other half walls, but it only works on the brick for the triangular pieces. Just quickly go around. You can do this in or out of build mode and repair all the broken walls. Just going to put my pit boy light on because it is getting a little bit dark. There we have it. I'm going to take this floor piece out now and put a ladder down. The reason we had to block that floor off was so that we could double wall this It can be tricky to get the roofs on here. It went perfectly yesterday when I was thinking I was recording a video. If you can't get it on here... Oh, no, it went. There it is. The other thing is to put a triangle piece up here, put a roof up here, and then the roof will snap to the other roof. That seems to be sort of priority. Now, before we take all this scaffolding down, the other thing you need to do is put the wallpaper on the outside, which I did actually forget to do yesterday. You can do the wallpaper on the inside at any point, but having the scaffolding to get up here to the outside is really helpful. Right, now I am just going to remove these floor pieces. Be careful, obviously, because you're floating over the ground, that you don't pick up the floor piece that you're actually on, because if that happens you will fall. If, like me, you have fall damage armour, then it's no big deal, but if you're on a public server and you have a lot of junk on you, you could end up having your bag stolen. Right. Now you notice I haven't put the walls on yet, but I'm going to do that now. On the side with the door I used the single window, and on the side, the opposite side, I used the double window. And the walls on either side are just plain walls, because these houses normally were terraced, so you would have neighbours on the other side. I mean, if you don't want to over decorate, it would be great to build a row of these, or even just the facade of, put one in the middle and do a facade of 2 blank ones. What I'm actually going to do temporarily is these 2 positions I'm going to put doorways in. This is for our electric conduits. And the other thing I've realised is you should really start at the bottom doing this, because this gap here where the stairs are, you won't be able to put a wall up. So, doorway, doorway, what is going on? If at first you don't succeed, do it from a different angle. Right, it's going to be a pain, so again, if at first you don't succeed, do it from a different angle. I'm going to be using for the, nope, okay, we're going to be very tricky today. We're going to be using these sort of arts and crafts style doorways. I really like them. Maybe I'll do an arts and crafts house sometime. If you did want to double wall this house, be aware that you'd have to pretty much scaffold the entire structure, because you would need to cover these stairways up. Right, this is the front door. temporary doorway. I do not know why this is doing this. It's being a real pain today. Nope. Nearly there. Right. Just going to quickly hop down the bottom. I also put some internal walls in, and although I normally do internal walls with the barn set, I did in fact decide on this build, because everything was brick, that I would use the brick. No, that's not what I intended to do. What is going on today with the snapping? Ah, there we go. Just convert these quickly to walls. Right, I'm going to have a short break because it is in fact, even with my Pip-Boy light on, extremely dark tonight. So I'll be back in a sec and I'll show you how to do the electrics. Right, dawn has broken and it's a cloudy day in the wasteland. Right, this trick I thought I'd show you. Now, I'm not saying I invented this. I watched a video of a chap use conduits and the power radiators. So he put a conduit on a mat in a doorway, and then he put, I think, 6 or 8 of them, wired them all up. Now notice I'm only doing 2 at the moment. Once you've done this, as long as you pick the mat up and move it, and this one, wherever you move these mats, the wire will stay connected. So he did about 6 of them. There were wires everywhere. They were hidden in the walls, but he then added a radiator. So the radiator stuck out to about here. And when I put a light up, the power would only radiate to here. So I thought, why is he using conduits? Will this work with the regular power conduits? So you'll notice that my conduit is quite close to the edge of the mat. I'm going to put that there. And then this one here. You can overlap a little bit. Now obviously it does mean that you're going to have mats. Now on a floor like this it doesn't really show very well, and you will notice if you go back and look at the tour that there are things covering them, because you can put things on top of them. Now what I did is I simply put another one down, connected to this one. Oops. Move the mat, put it down. Then I'm going to take this one up here. And it will stay connected. You can see there, it's connected through the doorway. Going to do the same here. Pick it up, move it, put it down. And then to do the next floor, put one down. Obviously I just did this little blueprint, saves faffing about trying to find things. Move it. Take it upstairs. See? Wire. Do this one. Yeah, I did 6 in a row when I did this and tried to work out which one was which, and you don't actually have to do them all at the same time, you can just do it like this. And I didn't use the conduit ones, I just used the regular power conduits that you would string up outside of a building. Now, just convert these to walls. You can move these as well if you think that the mat's sticking out too far, or the conduit, you can just move it. Before I convert this one, I'm going to put my generators down and connect it up. It has to be this way, unfortunately, because I prefer to have them with the nice pretty Volt Tech logo on them, but it won't connect. And the thing I found by using the regular ones, they are sticking out a little bit. You can pull them in a little bit more. Is that they will generate electricity further than oops. I hope this works. Yay! That wouldn't work if you use, even though they come out further, the power conduit radiators, which I can't find. These were the things that he used on the mats, and then he attached one of these, the power radiator. So it was kind of sticking out to about here, and the electricity only went to about halfway up this panel. So by just using the regular ones, which is a lot less hassle, as I said, if you think your mat's sticking out, just pull it in a bit. No problem. So we need to put a ladder down to the front door, from the front door even. And I did lower this. You don't have to. I just felt that just gave a nice effect for it to be slightly closer to the pavement. I also added a border, so that needs to come up. So you've got a little lane. I mean, the build area is quite big. You could build quite a bit more. I mean, this probably used... I did go a bit OTT with the decks, but you could probably... it used about 60% of the build budget. I converted the stairs to these posher stairs with the metal railings. I really wish they'd give us some railings like this. I used the ochre wallpaper in the parlour, dining room, lounge, whatever you want to call it. If you wanted to be really shabby chic, then you could just leave the walls like this. I used this wallpaper in the bedroom. While we're here. And we use the sort of dark grey. Up here. And the doors I used were this door. If the handle is on the right hand side, the door will open towards you. So if it's on the left, conversely, it will open away from you. And although I don't normally like this door, I actually thought that this door fitted very well here. This one, some of the metal doors do not follow the pan. So this one doesn't. Okay. I used the grey wallpaper down here again. Obviously you can decorate in whichever colours you like. And the same for the workshop room. And the last thing I'm going to show you is a quick way to do the conduit railings. It involves a blueprint. Normally I would use a low table to do the conduits, but I wanted them a bit higher up today so that they sort of came up almost to the bottom of the banister. So I made this little blueprint. Oops. Go to your power conduits. We want this one here. We want the first. They can be tricky to snap on sometimes, especially when you're recording a video for YouTube. It's as if they know. Oh, it's going to be a pain, isn't it? I think possibly it won't go on. Let's try it again. Right. Here we go. You will find that when you take the table away, because it's quite long, it will actually take away this piece here. So as long as you've got one piece up, you can then attach pieces to it. And there we go, there's your conduit railing. Obviously, if you want it closer or further away, it's up to you, but that's pretty good. It looks like it's touching. I've always struggled to get, I have once managed to get a small piece in here, but you can fall down these gaps. What I tend to do is I place objects there like the planters to stop you from falling, but these do stop you from falling down the stairs on this side. So there you have it. You have your brownstone. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know below. But I think that's all from me today. Thank you for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful new year. I hope 2021 brings you everything you desire, as long as it's not illegal or hurts anyone else. And that we all have a safe, happy new year.